Hello, this is on my YouTube channel. I figured I'd explain. This is a very cool project. It's about ocean acidification and CO2 levels, and specifically how it's affecting the ice caps. Mostly I talk about how CO2 is warming the atmosphere, since that's been steadily increasing over the year. The ice caps are melting. Salutations, my name is Keegan. The ice caps are melting. When I put on these glasses, I become you. Why are the ice caps melting? Our farms, our factories, our cars, our farms. Also, different aspects like these are releasing high amounts of CO2 into the atmosphere. This is raising the temperature of the global atmosphere, which is going to cause the ice to melt, because hot melt ice. But there's also another factor. A quote from the Smithsonian Magazine says, "Researchers from MIT have discovered that merely being in the presence of increased concentrations of carbon dioxide causes ice to significantly weaken and reduce material strength and fracture toughness, regardless of temperature. With enough carbon dioxide in the air, this alone could make glaciers more likely to split and fracture. Add in the fact that global temperatures will continue to warm, especially around the poles, and the combination of these two factors could mean that the ice caps will melt at an even faster rate than experts have previously projected." Sorry, the script was on the floor. So yeah, because of rising CO2 levels, the ice is melting. What does that mean, though? Well, for starters, it means that sea levels will begin to rise. Sea levels rising is especially bad because places like this are going to be underwater eventually. Now that'll take a while because this is the current rate of how much the water is going up. But the more ice that melts, not only is that more water in the ocean, but that's less ice to reflect sunlight from the ocean, so more ice that's going to be in the ocean. The majority of ice that's being melted is floating seaberg ice. This stuff, that's the thing that the Titanic hit. 90% of that, however, is already underwater and displacing the amount that it would if it melted. So when those melt, it's not really doing that much. But if the ice that's on land is cracking and melting and going into the ocean, that is going to cause sea levels to rise. I watched a video by Yes Theory where one of the members, Thomas, went to an island called Tuvalu.
Tuvalu has about 11,000 residents and is sadly one of the first countries to be forecasted to disappear as a result of rising oceans caused by climate change.
In the video, Thomas explains how kind the residents were and how the community was just an amazing place. But unfortunately, because of climate change and ocean acidification, places like these will no longer be inhabitable. Which, by the way, I haven't even mentioned all the unique species that live in the polar regions that are being endangered because of this. So the reasons to care are countries are sinking, animals are dying, and there's more. When this much ice in the Arctic regions is being melted, it can cause storms, floods, and overall just mess up so many ecosystems on the Earth. And it's not just CO2 in the atmosphere, it's also ocean acidification. Ocean acidification is extra harming to Arctic waters because colder waters are more soluble, so they're absorbing more of the CO2 in the atmosphere than some other areas. So what do we do? One of the biggest things we can do is just try to stop emitting greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. If we switch to power sources from the wind or from the sun, that'll be a lot less CO2 in the atmosphere. We can also try to remove some of the CO2 that's already in the atmosphere. One group that's already done this is Mr. Beast and Mark Rober. They started up a campaign to plant 20 million trees. And trees absorb carbon dioxide. If we absorb CO2 and switch to cleaner power sources, we may just be able to have a cooler climate and less acidic oceans, which could mean the ice caps are saved. Thanks for watching.